My brother's fiancée falsely accused me of hitting on her. My brother texted, "Stay away from us." I replied, "Done." Then I withdrew my name as guarantor for their new house mortgage. Now their loan has been denied. Hey, Reddit. My name is Claire Donovan, and for most of my life, I thought loyalty was unconditional. I was the kind of sister who showed up every single time. Parent-teacher meetings when our dad forgot, that was me. Prom night emergency because Nathan's tie was missing, I was there. Rent short during college? I covered it. I never once asked for anything back. Not money, not recognition, just respect. And I thought deep down, my brother Nathan understood that. Turns out, I gave him far more credit than he ever deserved. Nathan and I had survived a childhood most would call chaotic. Our dad was emotionally absent at best, verbally cruel at worst. Our mom passed when I was still in high school, leaving me, barely 15, as the de facto parent of a grieving little boy who didn't understand why cereal had to be dinner now. We learned to depend on each other the way only kids from broken homes can. I cheered for him at soccer games, coached him through breakups, taught him how to tie a real tie, not one of those clip-on things our dad always wore. When I landed my first job after college, I bought Nathan his laptop for school. I signed for his first apartment. I was the emergency contact for his entire life. So when he fell in love with Rachel, I didn't think much of it. At first, she seemed fine, bright, well-spoken, always ready with a polite smile and perfectly manicured hands. But there was a subtle tension anytime we were in the same room. She had this knack for twisting compliments into criticism. "Oh, Claire. You're so independent. You must be so used to being alone, or you and Nathan are so close. That must have been hard for you when he started dating someone." I chalked it up to insecurity. Not everyone is thrilled about marrying into a family with tight-knit siblings. I figured she'd grow out of it once. She saw I wasn't a threat, just a protective older sister who wanted the best for a brother. But I should have trusted my instincts. Rachel didn't want family. She wanted control. The first red flag came during the house hunt. Nathan and Rachel were shopping for their forever home, a 4-bedroom new build in a pricey suburb. When Nathan called me one night and said, "We'll get the mortgage. We just need a guarantor to push it through," I hesitated. Rachel was oddly quiet during that call, listening in the background, but not offering a single word. "Claire," Nathan said gently, "I wouldn't ask if we didn't need this. You've always believed in me, and I did. God help me, I did. So I signed. My credit score was solid, my job stable, and I trusted that my brother, who I helped raise, wouldn't put me in a position to regret it." About a week later, I dropped off some additional income verification papers at their condo after work. Nathan wasn't home. Rachel opened the door, barefoot, in a silk robe that could have passed for lingerie if you squinted. "Hey," I said, trying not to visibly recoil, "just dropping these off for Nathan." She smirked and leaned against the door frame. "You're always so on top of things, Claire. It's almost like you enjoy being needed." I stared at her, confused. "I help where I can," I replied, cautious. Her voice dropped. "You don't have to try so hard, you know. Nathan already has me." I blinked. "Sorry. What exactly are you suggesting?" She laughed, but there was no warmth in it. "Relax. You're always so tense. It's no wonder you've never been married." I left without saying another word, but something in her tone that day, a strange, smug superiority, stuck with me. Then came the text that broke everything. I was standing in line at the post office when Nathan's message came through. "Claire, I don't know what happened between you and Rachel, but she told me everything. You crossed the line. Please stay away from us." I stared at the screen, rereading those words like they were in another language. "What line?" I called him straight to voicemail. I texted back. "What are you talking about?" His reply was short. "Cold. She told me you made her feel uncomfortable, that you were inappropriate with her." I'm disgusted. My vision blurred. For a solid 10 seconds, I forgot how to breathe. She had flipped it, turned the narrative completely around. And Nathan, the boy I raised, protected, stood up for, believed her without even asking my side. I didn't argue. I didn't explain. I didn't beg him to believe me. Instead, I sent one final message. Done. And I meant it. I went home that night and sat at my kitchen table with a glass of wine, shaking. Not from sadness. From the sudden, searing clarity that I had spent my whole life being loyal to someone who would drop me the moment it was convenient. So I pulled out my laptop, logged into the mortgage portal. 3 clicks later, my name was off their application. Then I called the bank to confirm. Calm professional. Like, I was canceling a subscription I no longer needed. 2 days later, I got the email, loan application denied. Apparently, Rachel's credit history was worse than they admitted, maxed out cards, missed payments, and a mysterious collections item from an old apartment dispute. Nathan's income alone wasn't enough to cover the loan. Without my name backing them, the dream home slipped out of reach. Rachel posted a cryptic Instagram story the same day, a filtered selfie with a caption, "Funny how snakes slither closest before they bite." Lesson learned. No names. No details. But I knew. I didn't reply because unlike her, I wasn't playing for clout. I was playing for peace. Nathan didn't reach out until 5 days later. A voicemail, hesitant, soft. "Claire, listen. I don't know if we can fix this, but I didn't mean to push you away. I just believed what I heard. Maybe I shouldn't have. Please call me," but I didn't. Because there's a difference between being family and being someone's emotional doormat, and I had finally learned the difference. Nathan's voicemail sat untouched in my phone for 3 more days. I played it once. Standing at the kitchen counter with my hands still dusted in flour from baking banana bread, I didn't even have the appetite to eat. Hearing his voice again didn't bring comfort. It brought sadness. Not the sadness of losing a sibling, but the kind that sinks in when you finally realize someone never valued you the way you valued them. I didn't call him back, but that didn't stop the fallout from coming. That weekend, I ran into our cousin Jenna at the grocery store. She leaned on her cart and raised her eyebrows. "So are you gonna tell me what happened?" I feigned confusion. "About what?" She smirked. "Rachel's been telling everyone you tried to sabotage their relationship, that you were obsessed with Nathan and made things up out of jealousy." I blinked. "Jealousy?" "Yeah," she said. "It's ridiculous. But a few people believe her. She's been laying it on thick at every family thing, crying, saying you tried to ruin their future." I stood there in the produce aisle with my stomach twisting, imagining Rachel putting on her best wounded actor's face while spinning a web of lies I wasn't even there to defend myself against. But the thing about lies, they eventually unravel, especially when they're built by someone as entitled and reckless as Rachel. The cracks began to show barely 2 weeks later. I got a call from Alyssa, one of Rachel's old college friends. We'd met a few times at parties, never close, but cordial enough. "Claire," she said bluntly, "I thought you should know. Rachel pulled the same crap with another guy 2 years ago." "What do you mean?" "She accused a guy of making advances toward her, a friend of her ex, totally fake. She just didn't want her boyfriend hanging around him anymore. It got ugly. The guy lost his internship over it." I was stunned silent. "She does this," Alyssa continued, "whenever she wants to isolate someone or make herself look like the victim. But you're the first person who fought back." It was like breathing in fresh air after weeks of suffocation. It didn't take long before others began reaching out. One of Nathan's groomsmen, Tom, called me late one evening. "I know we haven't talked in a while," he began, "but I thought you should know I don't believe Rachel. I saw how she talked to you, the way she cut you off, roll her eyes when you spoke. Something always felt off." He paused. "And Nathan, he's miserable. He looks like hell." I let out a quiet breath. Well, maybe now he knows what it's like to doubt someone who's always been in his corner. Tom hesitated. "He wants to talk to you." "I'm sure he does," I replied. "But wanting something doesn't mean he deserves it." A few days later, Nathan showed up. No call. No text. Just knocked on my apartment door at 8:30 p.m. on a Thursday. I opened the door and found him standing there in a wrinkled hoodie and jeans. He looked tired, deflated, older than his 28 years. "Hi," he said, like it was the most natural thing in the world. I crossed my arms. "You're brave showing up here uninvited. I didn't know if you'd ever speak to me again," he said, "but I had to try." I didn't step aside. I didn't invite him in. What do you want, Nathan? He swallowed. I want to apologize for not listening, for not asking questions, for not giving you the benefit of the doubt. You were the one person who always showed up for me, and I threw it away. He looked genuinely broken. I thought I loved Rachel, he continued. But love doesn't come with ultimatums, or manipulation, or lies. I stayed quiet. He looked at me with watery eyes. She's gone. I called off the engagement last week. That part didn't shock me. Rachel was a manipulator, but even the best ones slip eventually. What shocked me was how late the realization came. You believed her without even talking to me, I said, voice calm but firm. After everything. After Mom. After the years I raised you when no one else cared. I know, he said softly, and I'll never forgive myself for it. I didn't let him in that night. Instead, I said what I had needed to say for years. You didn't just hurt me with your silence, Nathan. You made it clear that the first chance you got to see me as a villain, you took it. I wasn't thinking, no, you were. You just chose convenience over truth. Comfort over family. His eyes dropped to the floor. I'm not here to hold a grudge, I said, finally. But I'm done being the person who always saves you. This time, you learn to stand on your own. Then I closed the door. It's been 6 months now. Nathan and I text occasionally, birthdays, small updates. The closeness we once had is gone, but there's a quiet peace in its place. I don't need to raise him anymore. I don't owe him that. Rachel. She's apparently moved back to her hometown. Word spread quickly about her past behavior once her old college friend, Alyssa, came forward publicly with her story. Her reputation took a hit, not because I fought back, but because the truth always finds a way out. And me, I'm good. I bought my own condo. No cosigners, no guarantees. Just me and the life I've built on honesty and independence. I've also started seeing someone. Someone kind, patient, who listens without assuming, who values my loyalty without expecting me to carry the weight of their whole world. And for the first time in a long time, I've realized something important. Family isn't about who shares your blood. It's about who shows up when it matters most and stays.